Well, after the president addressed the Knesset, he then did a hop over to Egypt. It's not like it was a
Just hopped on the Air Force One and
big
went over.
flight.
By the way, follow people in his administration. I follow them, some of them exclusively for the pictures of like the food on Air Force One. Every time they're on Air Force One, they'll take it. And do you know they have to pay for their own food, by the way?
Yes.
On Air Force One.
Margot Martin, I think is her last name. Yeah, she's a great follow if you want to get like some inside images of what's going on.
Yeah.
But he went over to Egypt and then he addressed.
He had an escort too, didn't the Egyptian?
Yeah. He even commented on that where like they were flying in and all of a sudden these Egyptian jets showed up and he's like, well, wait a minute. Is this all...
What's happening?
I'm supposed to be here. Please calm down.
Yes.
But let me share some remarks that he made.
This is the day that people across the region and around the world have been working, striving, hoping, and praying for. They have done things over the last month that I think were really unthinkable. Nobody thought this could happen. With the historic agreement we've just signed, those prayers of millions have finally been answered. As you know, the hostages have been returned, and further work goes on having to do with the, sadly to say, bodies. Together we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East, and it's a very simple expression, peace in the Middle East, and we've heard it for many years, but nobody thought it could ever get there, and now we're there.
Now, he's gotten a little bit of criticism about just declaring peace in the Middle East because, I mean, as long as I've been a kid, remember, it was like the beauty pageant answer. I want world peace or peace in the Middle East or something like that. And now he's declaring that with the signing of this deal, finally we have reached peace in the Middle East. And he's getting some criticism for just like flat out declaring that.
It's kind of like Michael Scott declaring bankruptcy a little bit. Like you can't just say it. I mean, he's getting us as close as any living world leader has gotten us. But they definitely didn't love that he was just saying, oh, it's over. Now everything's over. Yeah. Meanwhile, last night, like Hamas was executing Palestinians.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to touch on. Like this particular, so now he's in Egypt. He's signing the peace deal with
and you
Turkey.
Guys have to watch it if you can watch it. Especially he is so funny. And
I have one because what was funny about this is that not only, first of all, I wish I had one of the clips because one clip he is sitting at the table with these Middle Eastern leaders. So it's Egypt, Turkey, and Qatar, right? And behind him, you see Macron and you see Carney, Starmer, but I see Carney over his shoulder. And he even makes mention of something like that these people are behind me and it's kind of funny that they're behind us. And like he's poking is what he's doing. And he's poking because these are the same people that undermined him like 2 weeks before the peace deal. And they put their money, they betted against the president is what happened. And decided to declare Palestine, which did what exactly? I have no idea.
Even the people in Palestine, they were interviewed and they're like, it means nothing. Like, saying it just doesn't make it happen. And you did see, I don't know.
You want to talk about declaring bankruptcy? That was declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah, seriously. That was not a good move. I don't know if you have this clip, but did you see when he was like basically calling out each leader and kind of, acknowledging their involvement? And then he called on Keir Starmer and Starmer like walked up thinking he was going to be able to
I don't
speak.
have it.
Oh, it's so good. Thinking he was maybe going to get to speak because like Pakistani's prime minister spoke, which was amazing, actually.
I have that. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and share that real quick.
For his outstanding, extraordinary contributions to, first, stop war between India and Pakistan, and then achieve ceasefire, along with his very wonderful. And today, again, I would like to nominate this great president for Nobel Peace Prize. Because I genuinely feel he is the most genuine and most wonderful candidate for Peace Prize because he has brought not only peace in South Asia, saved millions of people, their lives. And today, here in Sharm el-Sheikh, achieving peace in Gaza is saving millions of lives in the Middle East. Mr. President, I would like to salute you for your exemplary leadership, visionary leadership. And I think that you're the man this world needed most at this point in time.
I loved that. I was watching it back here with my husband, and
It's like, I'm not getting feelings.
no, I'm like, who is this guy? Let's go to Pakistan. That's the next vacation. He just seemed he was, again, so genuine. And I think it kind of caught Trump even off guard. Like,
Yeah,
he
he
loves
even
someone who
commented
loves
after
him.
that.
But
He was
like, whoa. Even for Trump, he was like, that's a little much. Thank you so much.
It's
you know?
actually funny that the Pakistani president mentioned the Nobel Peace Prize,
Mhm.
because at one point, which I don't have, even the
Oh,
president
when he was like, Sweden,
mentioned Sweden,
Where's
and he's
Sweden?
like,
Oh, they're back there. Sweden,
because Sweden is where the Nobel Peace
Yeah.
Prizes comes from, and it was
Yeah.
just
No, but I
so
really loved
funny.
he disses people so perfectly. And when Keir Starmer walked up, he thought he was going to get his chance at the microphone, and Trump just slid back in place in front of the podium. And
He
Keir
did. He
Starmer-
kind of hopped up, like excited, like
Yep.
he's like, "Oh, I got called up to the front of the
Yep.
class," and then
and
he's
so
like, "No,
Keir
go back
Starmer
to
kind
your
of just
seat."
like turned around and walked back, and you just are like, that's what you get. Like,
Oh my gosh.
this is what
Well,
you get.
and he didn't like this one to me, I was dying laughing, where he kind of joked about who he likes
and who he doesn't
like.
I've known so many of you for so long. You're friends of mine. You're great people. I have a couple I don't like in particular, but I won't tell you who. I have actually a few of them I don't like at all. But you'll never find out who they are.
But
And maybe you will, come to think of it. But I have most of you who I like a lot, and I respect a lot. Maybe that's more important. We listen.
It's only him. And we are watching this and just laughing. And you know what else was really funny? Was we were watching it on Fox. And so he kind of wrapped up his remarks, and they're like, all right, what you just watched was President Trump. Oh, wait, he's back.
Oh, wait.
Okay, hold on. So they'd cut back, and he'd give a few more remarks, and then be like, yes, it's a historic. Oh, wait, nope, there's more. He's
Nope.
coming back. They cut away like 3 different times because he loves it. He loves being in
my
front of the
gosh.
microphone. He loves talking. He loves to see people's responses when he's talking. He complimented Baloney for being beautiful. He was just all over the place.
he got into another like handshake wrestling match with
Mhm.
Macron,
Yeah.
which was friggin' hilarious. Also, somebody did this compilation where, because the president was standing up on the like stage
Mhm.
doing photo ops with all the leaders that were there, and he just stood there, and everybody kept walking up and shaking his hand.
He is the
doing
most
their
popular
photo op.
kid at school.
I don't
Everybody
know.
wants
It
to be
was
around
just-
him.
It was just really surreal, and it
Yeah.
was wild, and I cannot wait to hear the details. And I know, like, here in the United States, there's a contingent that's like either doesn't care or it's not a big deal because that's over there, and we're concerned about things that are going on here. And while I think obviously, yes, we are concerned with things that are going on here, if you think that conflict in the Middle East is good for the United States, or is not, like, wouldn't negatively affect us, especially in regards to a global economy,
Mhm.
I think that's not realistic
Mm-mm.
and quite naive. And I think what's really interesting about this particular situation is, like, as I mentioned before, we ended up with 3 businessmen basically who negotiated Middle East peace, because versus the previous administrations, and this includes Bush and this includes both Democrat and Republican administrations, like, the focus was always about, well, we can't give concessions if they're not going to, reach democratic norms, or
Yeah.
we have to not be too favorable to either side, or, you know what I mean? It was like all of this, like, dancing around and this, like, passive aggressiveness, and then, like, insisting that you have to agree. Like, it was more ideology focused versus Trump's going in there doing business deals. And he's like, look, if you want to do business with the United States, if you want to prosper as a country, if you want to be able to engage in commerce or anything like that, you need to let these people go.
Yeah.
You need to make, and I just think it's just a very different strategy than anything that we have seen as long as I've been alive. You know, like I can't think, and probably even before that. And I'm just wondering what will happen in time because we're in the very beginning stages. And so I'm wondering, will this hold? What happens when we have a different president? What happens if a Democrat comes in, you know, and falls back on norms? And that's if it's an establishment Democrat. Like, it's even worse if it's like a progressive Democrat. Like, what's going to happen then?